The roof closed this afternoon here in Houston with a chance of thunderstorms. 72 degrees outside the stadium. There is Mike Smith in his fourth season as Atlanta Falcons head coach. Falcons have won 2 straight and 5 of their last 6 games overall. Gary Kubiak in his 6th season in Houston. Texans looking to make the playoffs for the first time.
And they have played well through some tough injuries this season, losing some of their key players. When you talk about Andre Johnson, Arian Foster, Mario Williams, Matt Schaub, all out of the lineup. Some of them on IR, some of them for weeks on end, but they have been able to fight through it. That next man up mentality, we'll see if they can carry it through today, again with TJ Yates.
Mario Williams on the Texans sideline. Falcons have won the toss as Matt Ryan gets set to go to work. Eric Weems back deep. Brett Hartman will get things started for the 8-3 Houston Texans. Only the 3rd meeting between the Texans and the Falcons. The last back in 2007. We are underway in Houston. Taken on a bounce by Weems, who brings it out of the end zone. Who made his first Pro Bowl last season, leads the Falcons offense out onto the field.
And coming off his highest quarterback rating of the season last week, and that's part of this whole dilemma right now. They're playing well in spots. Sometimes the offense is playing well, sometimes special teams, sometimes defense. They haven't put that complete game together yet.
Michael Turner in the backfield, 4th leading rusher of the National Football League. Roddy White in motion. 1st and 10 for the Falcons from the 16-yard line against the top-ranked defense in the league. And Ryan's pass intended for White. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Right out of the box, Darryl, testing that secondary for the Texans.
Well, that's that chase to find that explosive play, Tony. It's been a quest all year long since they picked up Julio Jones. You look at the skill set with Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, Michael Turner. They throw a lot of things at you, but I still think it's these 5 guys right here that determine how this offense is going to play during the course of the day.
Will Svitek starts once again at left tackle on 2nd and 10. Here is Turner. Looks to go up the middle, and he is bottled up. Ryan Cushing, first Texan, in on the tackle. Their first season under new coordinator Wade Phillips.
And they have really bought into Wade Phillips' philosophy. This is a defense that was near the bottom of the pile in a lot of statistics last season. Now they're at the top. Brooks Reed is a rookie. J.J. Watt is a rookie. Great combination. They've moved some players into different positions. Glover Quinn was a corner, now playing safety. And then 2 key additions, Jonathan Joseph and Daniel Manning, to shore up that secondary.
3rd down and 10. 3 wide receivers for the Falcons. Ryan steps up and fires down. Wide open.
Matt Ryan misses both Roddy White and Julio Jones' first play and 3rd play of the game. Watch Julio Jones come into the middle of the field wide open.
One thing about Julio Jones also, Darryl talked to him before the game, he's not 100%. Missed practice on Wednesday, so his hamstring has been bothering him a little bit, but they're trying to rest him. But maybe the timing's off with Matt and Julio going downfield.
He's also missed 3 of the last 6 games due to that hamstring. Fair catch is called for by Jacoby Jones at the 35-yard line. 49-yard punt by Bosher as TJ Yates, who replaced the injured Matt Leinart last week, makes his first NFL start. First quarterback from the University of North Carolina to start a game in the National Football League.
This is his first start, but he's got a lot of work from the time he was drafted until this point this afternoon. He came down here right away, worked out with Matt Schaub and the guys here during the course of the summer, and then during training camp. Remember, Matt Leinart was a free agent, so during that period where he couldn't practice, TJ Yates was sharing all the snaps with Matt Schaub.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of this today. Handoff from Yates to Foster, and Arian Foster gains 3. Curtis Lofton on the tackle.
Well, it's one of the great things for a young quarterback when he can rely on a great running game, but he's also got to get these other guys involved. Andre Johnson coming off a hamstring that's been bothering him all year, and head coach Gary Kubiak felt he played him a little bit too long last week. Here's your group right here. This is the key, the zone blocking scheme. One of only 2 starting 5 offensive lines that have played every game together this season.
Second down and 7. Again, it's Foster, and he is tackled back at the 34-yard line by Mike Peterson, starting today for the injured Stephen Nicholas.
The guys up front have to be able to penetrate the line of scrimmage and set the edges against this zone blocking scheme of the Houston Texans. You saw in that last play penetration into the backfield. Mike Peterson gets the start for Stephen Nicholas. We'll have some changes in the secondary. Dominique Franks gets the start at cornerback, and then also Kelvin Hayden is down, so they're a little bit thin in the secondary with Brent Grimes and Kelvin Hayden out.
Third down and 10, 3 wide receivers set for the Texans. They must get to the 45 for a first down. Yates' first pass today is off the hands of Andre Johnson. Christopher Owens on the coverage.
And again, one of the things that TJ Yates said he had to improve on during the course of the week was throwing routes to the starting receivers, Andre Johnson, Kevin Walter. He doesn't get a lot of opportunity to do that. That was one of his biggest things he wanted to work on during the course of the week. That looked pretty good on his first attempt right there.
Good pickup by that offensive line, too. They brought 6 guys on that one. Got it covered.
Both teams go 3 and out on their opening possession. Brett Hartman, the rookie out of Central Michigan, angled towards the sideline, taken by Weems. And Weems is tackled at the 24-yard line by Sherrick McManus. Second offensive possession when we return for Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Back in Houston, second position for the Falcons. They start from the 24-yard line. First down, flea flicker, Turner, back to Ryan, going deep for Roddy White, and it is picked off by Kareem Jackson.
Well, I tell you, these Atlanta Falcons weren't kidding when they talked about wanting to get chunks of yards. They have been very aggressive so far. This is on Michael Turner. All right, you got your flea flicker. Watch how long it takes him to get the ball back to Matt Ryan. It's kind of flipped high in the air, off to the back shoulder. That throws up the timing. Matt's going to be rushed. He's not going to be able to step into the throw. But you have to credit the Houston Texans. They've been prepared for this. That's a play where you could have a lot of people biting up on that run fake. Kareem Jackson stays with it, keeps that middle of the field closed.
I agree. If he would have had a little bit more time, he could have threw that to the outside where the receiver could have ran to it away from the defender.
Third career interception for the Macon, Georgia native Kareem Jackson, and now Ben Tate on his first carry gained 6 out to the 41-yard line.
They've got a pretty good 1-2 punch that they can throw at you down here in Texas when you talk about Arian Foster and Ben Tate.
Combined 10 rushing touchdowns. Tate missed his entire rookie season last year due to an ankle injury and ran for 100 in his first 2 NFL games this season. On 2nd and 4, it's Tate who spins, and it is tackled at the line of scrimmage by Sean Weatherspoon. So 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Texans.
And here's what you have to guard against when you're going against a zone blocking team. Watch the jump cut by Ben Tate. Little stutter right there, you get a little pull and everything here. Watch this, the jump to the outside. You've got to make sure you have every gap closed, just like the Falcons did right there. Keep pushing him outside, pushing him to the edge.
Foster back in for Tate, 3 wide receivers, Kevin Walter in the slot. 3rd down and 4, Yates to the outside, it's Andre Johnson for a Texans first down out of the 46, first completion today for Yates.
Now hopefully he's starting to get a little bit healthier here. He's very critical to this Texans team as they move towards this playoff push. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL year in, year out, and he can change a game. If he can get that hamstring healthy and become that deep threat that he's always been, this is a scary offense, even with their 3rd quarterback calling the shots with TJ Yates.
Johnson missed 6 games before returning last week. Off the play fake, Yates too high. Intended for Johnson. Dante Robinson, the ex-Texan, on the coverage. Time for a game break. with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right, how about the Vikings hosting Denver? Early in the game, Willis McGahee, he can't get out of the end zone. Jared Allen stopped him for a safety. That was after a fantastic punt from Chris Cluey down the ball inside the 1. Viking defense making it pay. 2-0 they lead the Broncos. Kenny Moose and Goose.
One of those situations, you're backed up that far. You want to do that quarterback sneak coming off, Goose.
Yeah, want to get that ball out of the end zone.
Yates on 2nd and 10, complete for a first down to the tight end, Owen Daniels, 17-yard pass play.
And you're already starting to see the confidence that Gary Kubiak has in TJ Yates. And he has challenged him all week long to know this offense in depth. He doesn't want to make it a small game plan. He wants to have everything open for him. He worked very hard. They know about his work ethic. They knew he was going to be prepared for this opportunity.
From the Falcons 37, play action, Yates for Johnson. Another high throw, Johnson went up to get it. Another Texans first down, gain of 20.
That's a great point by you at the top, Tony. The weakness of this Falcons.
He just stops, turns around. Nice job by TJ Yates of identifying where Andre was going to be and getting the ball to him. You just throw that ball, throw it a little high to Andre. He's going to go get it, huh, Darryl?
Great athleticism out there.
Tate back in, 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 17. Then Tate. Gain of 3 down to the 14-yard line.
One thing we talked earlier about this Falcons defense is they want to penetrate. But they have to be careful. If you penetrate and you're not aware of how deep you are into the backfield, it does stay in the hunt for that running back. I talk from experience, Darryl.
Yeah, they're as good at it as anybody in the NFL, this zone blocking scheme, this Texans offensive line.
8th play of the drive, 2nd down and 7. Yates' pass was batted down by Mike Peterson. 3rd and 7 upcoming.
The other thing it does, Tony, is it keeps you off balance the whole time. And we talked to John Abraham, and he said it's tough for us to get an idea of when they are going to throw it.
Yeah, because them linemen are light because they're moving laterally and not firing off the ball. So it almost looks like they're dropping back for pass protection. So identifying whether it's going to be pass protection or zone blocking is very difficult.
Three wide receivers. Now the Texans empty the backfield. Foster split out to the left. Yates on 3rd and 7. Moving to his left. Under pressure. Hit as he throws. And the pass incomplete. Vance Walker with the pressure.
We got a Falcon going down the field right here. And the referee's following him like no whistle has been blown. Sure looked like his arm was going forward and it was an incomplete pass, but they've called touchdown.
It is ruled a touchdown as James Sanders takes it all the way. We'll have to check out the replays on this one.
Well, it's one of those things, Tony, and you talk about it all the time. We saw it in the
Atlanta.
I think we're going to see a challenge flag on this.
Well, it was a scoring play. Scoring plays are automatically reviewed, but there was a Falcons penalty. So Bill Levy will clean things up. We'll be back. Back in Houston, one of the officials ruled incomplete pass. However, as Sanders ran towards the end zone, it was ruled a touchdown. As we take another look now, because of the spot foul committed by the Atlanta player leaving the bench, the touchdown was taken away, which means that a team, in this case Houston, can challenge, and it is not officially reviewed because the touchdown was taken back. So Houston has challenged the play.
Oh, you got all that, Mike? You ready to talk us through it now?
We bring in Mike Pereira, our NFL rules analyst. Bill Levy coming out as well. So first we will hear from Bill and then Mike.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Houston will be charged the first time out.
Is that what you saw, Mike?
Well, I'll tell you, really, in my mind, I thought the hand had started to go forward with control of the ball, which would have actually wiped out the penalty in that return. It's what all you're focusing on now is he have control of the ball with the hand going forward. And in this shot, to me, you know, I know that he did call it a fumble, but it looks to me like the hand is going forward. That last shot from the side is the one that would appear to be the clearest to me.
Now, it has to be the hand, right? Not the elbow, but the motion of the hand, correct?
The elbow has nothing to do with it. It is all just the hand with control of the ball in the hand. If the hand starts forward, as soon as it starts forward, that is the beginning of the pass.
All right, thanks, Mike. So the Texans lose the challenge. The Falcons lose the touchdown due to the penalty. Player leaving the bench, so Atlanta will take over on their own 35-yard line.
After the interception, both teams had players come off the bench. Therefore, it's a foul by both teams after the possession. The foul's offset at the spot of Atlanta's foul. First and 10.
Well, you can see the confusion right here. You're going to have guys coming on the field expecting a PAT field goal kick. Look at all the different. You've got coaches on the field, players on the field. And you heard it was the same way on the other side of the field with the Houston bench. So spot foul, offsetting penalties at the spot where Atlanta committed the penalty. This crowd is not happy. They're going to make it hard on these Falcons in this series.
Play clock down to 3. Ryan to the outside, and the catch is made by Roddy White. Forced out of bounds by Jonathan Joseph, gain of 16.
That's nice placement by Matt Ryan on that throw. We've seen him miss a deep ball a couple times already, but this is well done. Thrown to the outside away from Jonathan Joseph. Good catch by Roddy White.
In Houston territory, first and 10 from the Texans 49. Ryan on first down, complete to the tight end, Tony Gonzalez, for a gain of 4, down to the Houston 45-yard line.
The Atlanta Falcons getting into their no-huddle offense, but it's not the no-huddle that you think of when you hear that term. You think about an up-tempo, fast-paced offense. You'll watch Matt Ryan. You saw how long he was at the line of scrimmage on the last play. He's really trying to control the tempo of the flow, change it from play to play, not let that defense get into a rhythm on cadence or when the ball is going to be snapped. You can see how much goes on at the line of scrimmage. It's dummy audibles. It looked like they're ready to go. The defense gets set. Now he walks up, changes it again.
Second down and 6. Ryan's pass is picked off. Second interception for the Texans. It is Jason Allen. Pass was intended for Julio Jones. He hustles back to make the tackle. Allen brings it back to the Atlanta 40-yard line, a 33-yard return, 15th career pick for Allen.
Well, I think I'm going to have to put this one on Julio Jones because this is a timing throw. I want you to watch this at the top of the route. He's got to go across the face right there. He gives a little wiggle like he's going to go by. Julio Jones has got to cross the face of Glover Quinn. He cannot go behind him. That ball is already out of Matt Ryan's hand. That interception is on Julio Jones.
Jason Allen also did a great job of getting his head back and keeping his eyes on Matt Ryan to see that ball come right in.
So the Texans get it right back. Turnovers on the last 3 possessions, and a beautiful play by the former Texan Dante Robinson to break up that pass by Yates.
What a response from that defense of the Texans.
Some ex-teammates battling it out right there. Dante Robinson used to be down here. A tremendous amount of respect from both of those guys playing against each other. Andre Johnson going against his old teammate. Fun to listen to them talk about each other during the course of the week.
Second and 10, Arian Foster. And Foster takes it down the sideline. Terrific second effort. And he was finally forced out of bounds just shy of the 30, a gain of 9.
One of the things that the line does a great job, I want you to keep your eye in the center, 55, watch him pull out and around, watch him stay on the block. They lock up, stay on the block, keep their feet moving. Very rarely do you see the Texans offensive line on the ground, and it's part of the scheme that they run. When you run a zone blocking scheme, you've got to stay on your feet and run the defenders. They do a really nice job of doing that.
New set of downs for the Texans. Jacoby Jones in motion. From the 30, it's Foster again. And this time he runs into the arms of Mike Peterson.
This will be a fun battle within the game to watch, back and forth. You've got one of the best running offenses in the NFL with the Houston Texans going up against one of the best run defenses in the NFL with Atlanta.
A little surprising the play selection right there. 7 passes and 8 runs. Thought it'd be a little more running action with this team, huh? Third string quarterback at TJ Yates.
On 2nd and 10 off the play fake to Foster. Yates complete to Daniels. Second catch for Owen Daniels. Dante Robinson the tackle as Daniels gains 8 yards.
But you know what, Tony? Everything is based off the run. If they get that run going and they can get to this style of play action, it creates throwing lanes for TJ Yates. And he's doing a good job with his decision making right now. His accuracy's been a little spotty on some of those throws into the middle. He's been high a few times, but when he's been checking it down underneath, he's been very accurate.
Third down and 1 for the Texans. And Foster down shy of the first. It will be spotted just outside the 20-yard line. So 4th and inches.
I don't know. Arian Foster did a great job as he was going down to extend that ball.
Yeah, it looked like his knee hit, so Gary Kubiak with a decision to make.
Looks like he's going for it. Sending in Owen Daniels, taking out Kevin Walter. We'll see if his knee was down first before he was able to extend out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good spot by the officials.
And now a timeout is taken by the Texans. So TJ Yates heads over to the sidelines. We'll be back. Back in Houston, we are scoreless. Texans going for it on 4th and inches.
They're not going to be going for it now.
False start, number 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Mike Brizell. Something you don't want to do. Right here, the right guard gets a little anxious. A little bit of movement right there. He tried to hold it, but
Falcons defensive coordinator Brian Van Gorder reacts. So here's Neil Rackers out to attempt a 43-yard field goal. Brett Hartman is the holder from the right hash. Snap by John Weeks. Rackers from 43. Texans lead 3-0. Just over 4 minutes remaining first quarter. We've had turnovers on 3 consecutive possessions, and then a Texans field goal set up by that nice return by Jason Allen. Pat Ryan has been picked off twice in the first quarter.
False start on a decision where they're going to go for it on 4th and inches.
Eric Weems from 5 yards deep. Out to the 23-yard line. Pat Ryan of the Falcons offense back out, trailing 3-0. Jason Allen on the left, Kareem Jackson on the right, both with first quarter interceptions for this #1 ranked Houston Texans defense.
That's one of the things that they've really improved on from last season, is taking the ball away.
Falcons go back to work from the 24-yard line. Play clock at 5. Michael Turner on the stretch play. Turner out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Connor Barwin makes the tackle, gain of 2.
Well, both of these teams are running teams. You should take a look at it right here. You look what the Houston Texans are doing to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Atlanta came out of this game looking for some big pass plays down the field that had guys open, but they haven't been able to connect.
Ryan with 2 completions and 2 interceptions. Play clock at 3. Ryan on 2nd and 8. Complete to Julio Jones. Out at the 35-yard line. Forced out of bounds by Jason Allen. Jones gains 10 and a Falcons first down.
Well, this is a nice job by Atlanta's offensive line. Look at D'Amico Ryan's 59 time in that blitz. You've got edge pressure on the other side. Now, that's a lot of guys coming in. That line does a good job picking everything up. It's a short drop. They give Matt Ryan the time to get that ball to the outside.
From the 35, it's Turner. Turner out to the 39 for a gain of 4, setting up 2nd down and 6.
You talked about these offensive lines. Both of them are doing a really good job. Atlanta's offensive line is sticking on their blocks, picking up blitzes like you said earlier, Darryl.
Three wide receivers set. 2nd down and 6 for the Falcons. From the 39, Ryan to the outside. Intended for Harry Douglas. Danielle Manning, the former Bear, on the coverage for the Texans.
They are on to his cadence right now, Tony. They found something. D'Amico Ryan is hitting it, I mean, almost perfect. You got to credit Atlanta for picking it up, but they've really gotten on to Matt Ryan's cadence.
That's the problem when you run that clock down to 2 or 3 seconds. You know they're going to have to snap the ball, so defensively you can time it. You see that play clock up in the top left-hand corner. Defense, you see that, now the ball's got to be snapped.
And the Falcons goose did not get the snap off in time.
Before the snap, delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
I think this crowd is having a big impact on this too, Tony. When you're on the road and you're in a stadium that's loud, you really have to simplify your cadence to make sure you don't have delay games, to make sure you don't have false starts. The crowd is having an impact right now in helping this defense jump this cadence.
And Atlanta can help themselves right there with snapping the ball earlier and getting the ball out.
On 3rd and 11, pass off the hands of Ronnie White.
Roddy White's going to come across the field from the outside receiver, pushes it up a little bit. He's got to step a little bit high on the throw. This is an aggressive approach by this Texans defense. They're bringing pressure, playing straight man-to-man across the board.
Matt Bosher back at his own 20-yard line. Jacoby Jones back deep for the Texans. Taken at the 15 by Jones. And he is met immediately by Antone Smith. 51-yard punt, only 2 on the return. TJ Yates and the Texans leading 3-0. 3-0 Texans here in Houston. Coming up, game 2 of our Fox doubleheader, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Green Bay Packers undefeated, 11-0 as they take on the New York Giants. Check local listings for the game in your area. America's Game of the Week. Packers, Darryl, have won 17 in a row dating back to last season.
That Giants defense has got something to prove, though. You don't want your defensive coordinator calling you out, saying that you quit against the Saints last week.
And that is what they heard from Perry Fuel. Yates rolling to his right, throws downfield. Johnson bobbled it and could not hang on. Thomas Deku on the coverage.
All right, anybody who's worried about TJ Yates as your starting quarterback as a Texans fan, this throw puts it to rest. Watch this, on the move, moving to his right, Andre Johnson, the deep crosser, he's going to hit him in stride. That is a heck of a throw. They actually said TJ is a little bit more athletic than Matt Schaub and Matt Leinart, so maybe this is something we see not only today, but throughout the rest of the season is TJ Yates on the move making throws.
Makes a lot of difficulties for that defense when they're moving on that zone blocking up front. Don't keep an eye on that boot.
On second and 10, Goose, here's Ben Tate. Now remember, Yates and Andre Johnson worked together through Johnson's rehabilitation from that hamstring injury. TJ Yates, 5th-round draft pick out of North Carolina, grew up a Falcons fan in Marietta, Georgia, attended Pope High School.
There's his favorite football player as a kid growing up, Fran Tarkington. We didn't get the origin of the Ouija, though.
No.
How about him playing football as a senior in high school?
His only year of varsity in high school.
It gets recognized by the North Carolina staff while they're scouting another player.
He was a basketball player and then 1 year of varsity at Pope High School in Marietta. Pass to Foster, but he's brought down at the 22-yard line, about 5 yards shy of the marker, so the Texans will punt it away.
You know, one thing that we got from meeting with TJ Yates is he said he never minds ending a drive with a kick. If he could do that, he'll be successful, whether it's a punt, whether it's a field goal or an extra point. I think that's a great attitude to have.
Texans had this drive with a punt. Hartman from the 12. Again, angled towards the sideline. They keep it out of the hands of Eric Weems. So the Falcons will take over with 32 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Well, the 2011 NASCAR season was one of the most exciting in history, and this February, Fox Sports will once again be at Daytona International Speedway to bring you the world's best drivers as they drop the flag on another thrilling season of Sprint Cup Series racing. It all begins with the Great American Race, the 54th running of the Daytona 500, February 26th, right here on Fox.
Taking a look at Atlanta's first 4 possessions. Now in that first series, they missed 2 great chances for big plays, and now they've sputtered ever since then. You never know when your opportunity to make a game-changing play is going to happen. I think they had a couple on that first series.
Falcons start from the 29, the toss to Michael Turner with the fullback Mike Cox leading the way, and Turner is brought down back at the 26 by Earl Mitchell, a loss of 3 yards.
This is a very, very athletic defense. It starts with the linebackers, but it goes into the defensive line as well. Look at the flow. You got 4 guys coming after you. Earl Mitchell working all the way down the line. Big nose tackle going sideline to sideline.
Yeah, them offensive linemen got out there, Claiborne and Hawley, but that defense just pursuing.
And Goose, the first quarter comes to an end with the Houston Texans leading the Atlanta Falcons 3-0. Second quarter coming up after these messages.
Brian Cushing, he's going to be dealing with that the rest of the season. He's got a nice cut on the bridge of his nose that he got last week, and unfortunately that's going to be around for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they don't go away anytime soon.
Second down and 13 as we start the second quarter. Ryan complete to Julio Jones. And Jones takes it out to the 38-yard line, gain of 12.
This Texans defense, what they have done in 1 year is pretty remarkable under Wade Phillips. And you look at their rankings this year, and it caught the eye of the Atlanta Falcons. These are all the categories that they consider important, and the Texans are at the top. And Wade Phillips does this quite a bit. You know, he comes into a place that first year, this defense just has an unbelievable change. And he said the first thing you have to do, you have to come in, you got to find out about the work ethic and the intensity of these guys. He put some guys into some different positions. They've brought into this 3-4 scheme, and they are athletic and playing very, very well.
Ryan on third down and 1. Can't find anyone downfield, and he throws it out of bounds. He was under pressure from Brian Cushing.
Well, you talk about changing positions. Brian Cushing going from outside linebacker to middle linebacker. He does a great job. It's a Almost a dash to the outside. Look at how he goes through that line of scrimmage to put the pressure on Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan gets rid of it. One guy that can run down a lot of people, Brian Cushing. Jersey guy also, Darryl. Got a lot of Texas guys all over the place. I had to stick up for one of the Jersey guys.
Terrific high school career in New Jersey, then out to USC for Brian Cushing. Kobe Jones from the 12-yard line. Down to the 19, tackled by the combination of Corey Bierman and Eric Weems. 50-yard punt, 7 on the return. Arian Foster and the Texans offense when we return. Texans lead the Falcons 3-0. First NFL start for TJ Yates. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Down at the 18. Arian Foster, Mike Peterson with his 4th tackle today.
Well, so far to the start of this game, we've seen TJ Yates be aggressive down the field, and I think a lot of that came from a conversation he had with Gary Kubiak during the course of the week. He saw him being a little bit tentative and hesitant with his decision making, and he pulled him aside in a drill, brought him to the back and said, hey, listen, go out there, play the game aggressively, turn it loose, we'll deal with what happens, but I do not want you going out there and playing hesitant football.
Well, he looks like he took his advice. He hasn't been hesitant at all.
2nd and 12, Texans keep it on the ground with Foster. James Sanders comes up to make the tackle, no gain, so 3rd down and 12 coming up.
And it was going to be important because this is a defense. They're number 2 against the run. Their secondary is a little bit banged up right now. Brent Grimes is out. Calvin Hayden is out. Brian Van Gorder is trying to patch that secondary together. You're going to have to throw the ball down the field if you want to have success this afternoon. So you will have to be aggressive, and maybe, more so than you would in TJ's first start, just because of the way this defense is set up for Atlanta.
Yates is 5 for 10, 54 yards. 3rd down and 12. Texans must get to the 30. Yates gets rid of it quickly to Foster, and Arian Foster picks up a 1st down and more. Finally forced out of bounds by Sanders at the 46-yard line. He needed 12, and he gained 28.
Arian Foster has 3 100-yard receiving games already this season, and here's one of the big reasons why. As a screen player, you've got to have great patience to let everybody get out and set up, and he does a good job of that. Gets out, he allows his blocks to get set up. There's Chris Myers down the field working. He gives Chris the time to get in position to at least affect Dante Robinson right there.
Biggest play of the day for the Texans on offense as Yates stumbles, stays on his feet, and now fires downfield for Johnson. And Andre Johnson makes the catch. A spectacular catch by Johnson. Dominique Franks on the coverage, a 50-yard pass play.
I tell you what, for a young quarterback, this is one of the throws that you'll see veteran quarterbacks miss. Look at the athleticism there to keep his balance. He gets out, resets. He throws it to the middle of the field and allows Andre Johnson to run under the ball. A lot of times you'll see a quarterback throw this up the field on the double move, and all of a sudden he's got to stretch and kind of bend between the hash and the numbers right there. He puts it out in front, into the middle of the field, and allows Andre Johnson to go get it.
His longest reception of the season. 1st and goal from the 4. The handoff to Foster. And Arian Foster gains 2 down to the 2-yard line of the Falcons.
And this is Andre Johnson, who missed one earlier. A chance for a big play when he was wide open earlier in the game. He comes back and makes a really difficult catch on a big play. Dominique Franks is right there in pretty good coverage. Battling the whole time. Can't get it out of Andre's hands, though.
Two tight ends, 2nd and goal from the Atlanta 3. Foster.
Curtis Lofton, middle linebacker, what a great job. He went and saw the hole open up, just took it. Able to get Arian Foster down.
Again, it's going to be tough sledding against this run defense of the Falcons, Goose.
Yeah, both of these teams are really playing the run extremely great.
Texans empty the backfield. Foster split wide to the right. Johnson in motion. 3rd and goal. Yates quickly to the end zone. And it is a Texans touchdown to the tight end, Joel Dreesen.
This is a lot of trust, a lot of faith, and a lot of confidence for a young quarterback. This play happens very quickly. Watch how quick he comes up, and the ball is out to Joel Dreesen. I've been impressed with TJ Yates' play so far here in the first half.
I don't know. His knee could have been down. I don't know if that ball got in all the way.
Well, they called it a scoring play, so
yeah,
this
so
will go
they're going to review
upstairs.
it.
All scoring plays automatically reviewed. Ruled a touchdown on the field.
Looks like they're going to review this.
The previous play is under review.
Yeah, they got to take a serious look at it. His right knee looked like it was down and the ball was not in the end zone. If you look right there, when his knee is touched, the ball does not look like it crossed the plane. Wouldn't be surprised if this is overturned.
You could see Daryl Jenkins, the umpire, right there, number 76, trying to spin out to get a better look at that catch and carry over the goal line.
So it will either remain a touchdown or it will be 4th and goal. We bring in Mike Pereira once again. Mike, you had a couple of looks at it. What do you think?
Well, I think it's one of those that they ruled on the field as a touchdown, so I don't really think you can overturn it. When you look at it, if you stop it here, you see the knee going down, but then you focus at knee's already down, you go back a bit. Just the tip of the ball has to break the plane, and that's what they're going to look at here. And this is that whole notion to me, a little too close to overturn in my book. But
and remember, there must be indisputable visual evidence in order to overturn, because it was ruled a touchdown on the field.
And the plane of the end zone is the white, the front part of that white line. That's where it has to go and break.
And as Mike said, only the tip of the football must break the plane. If it stands, it will be the first NFL touchdown pass for TJ Yates. Yeah, Mike.
the other thing you take a look at here is, you know, the knee doesn't go down till that point. And, you know, with replay now, you get to that, and we've talked about this before. You can't discount that initial ruling on the field.
Stands. Touchdown.
Well, as Mike predicted, the call stands. It is a Texans touchdown.
Congratulations, TJ Yates.
5th touchdown this season for Joel Dreesen. Chance of TJ from the crowd here in Houston. Not only from his parents, John and Carol, who are here. The extra point by Rockers is good. Texans now lead 10-0. Seven-play, 80-yard drive. TJ Yates, 3 for 3 on the drive, including that 50-yard completion to Andre Johnson.
We've talked about him being aggressive down the field. He is not shying away from throwing that ball deep.
Them numbers could have even been better if Andre Johnson would have caught the first one Yates threw to him. It was very catchable.
Kickoff sails through the end zone. Falcons, who trail 10-0, will start from their own 20. Place Houston Texans with a record of 8-3. 2-game lead over Tennessee in the AFC South. They have already beaten the Titans. Falcons start from their own 20.
I'll tell you what, D'Amico Ryan sneaks up there. Every time they change the play at the line of scrimmage, now he's checking off with his defense.
On first down, it's Turner. Wrapped up by Cushing. Turner gains 5 out to the 25-yard line.
I know they like to control the flow and the tempo of the game at the line of scrimmage, but against this Texans defense, you might want to come up from time to time and just snap the ball and get going quickly. Call a play in the huddle that's going to work. You know they're going to be in a 3-4 on first and second down.
Second down and 5. Jason Snelling in at fullback. Off the fake to Turner. Ryan with time and wide open To make the catch and pick up a first down is Tony Gonzalez, his second catch today, gain of 17.
Tony Gonzalez does a great job of coming back. Here he is on a route, right over the middle, goes to the left, ball's thrown behind him, does a great job of stopping, plant back, turn up, get a few more yards after the catch. That is not an easy catch right there on the back shoulder.
Only the third first down for the Falcons today. Gonzalez again. Tackled by Manning at the 48-yard line. Gain of 6.
One of the things you can't do against this Texans defense is kind of stop, plant, and come back inside, because this group of linebackers are big, athletic, fast, side-to-side guys. You're going to take a big hit if you stop and start to move back towards the middle of the field.
Second down and 4. Michael Turner up the middle across midfield into Texans territory. Nico Ryans made the tackle, stopped about a yard shy of the marker, so it will be third down and 1. Falcons will actually huddle up. We haven't seen many huddles from the Atlanta offense today. Third down and 1. Michael Turner picks up a first down and more. Turner finally wrestled down by Manning at the 33-yard line. Needed a yard, and he gained 16.
This Texans defense had a lot of respect, not only for Michael Turner, but also, the entire running back group here with the Falcons. You think of Michael Turner as a big guy, but watch the feet. Able to cut it backside. He's one of the best at getting his shoulders square at the line of scrimmage. He's never going through at an odd angle.
From the 33, Ryan fires downfield. It's Gonzalez. Inside the 15, the 10, and it's Ryans who drags him down at the 7. Third catch of this series for Tony Gonzalez, the future Hall of Famer, gains 27.
Tony Gonzalez coming off that tight end spot on the right, just gets down into the middle of the field, slides a little bit to get into the line of vision of Matt Ryan. Good run after the catch.
Falcons gained only 39 yards over their first 5 drives. 73 on this drive.
Looks like we got Brian Cushing down on a knee. Tim Dobbins was coming in.
So Ryan will take the opportunity to head to the sidelines with 6:45 remaining in the second. Cushing shaken up.
I mean, when is it going to stop for this Texans team? I mean, all of their big-time players, Mario Williams, Andre Johnson, Arian Foster, Matt Schaub, and now Brian Cushing. He missed a couple of days of practice this week just because he was so beat up from the course of the season. Saw him slide there as he came in. Watch 56, the slide, and then the knee pops. Looked like the right leg that was tucked behind more than the left leg that slid out. It actually looked worse on the left leg when I first saw it.
Cushing replaced by Tim Dobbins. First and goal from the Texans 7. Hand off to Turner on first down, and Michael Turner gains 3 yards down to the 4. D'Amico Ryans made the tackle.
Brian Cushing over on the sideline getting checked out, and that's a big loss right now for the Houston Texans. I mean, he's your inside blitzer. Wade Phillips put him inside, moved him from a Sam linebacker to 4-3, which lines up on the line of scrimmage, sometimes off the ball in that bubble to the tight end, put him to the weak side inside linebacker. Loves the way he finds his way to the quarterback. So not only do you lose your emotional leader, but you probably lose your best inside blitzer.
Ryan on second and goal, throws, and Harry Douglas makes the catch, but a terrific tackle at the 1-yard line is made by Glover Quinn.
Real nice tackle. There's 83, just a little quick out. You've got Harry Douglas with a lot of speed. Good job by Glover Quinn fighting through that. That's a little bunch set, and they're going to try and impact your release to the receiver that you have in man-to-man, and Glover Quinn does a nice job fighting his way through all those players.
Ninth play of the drive, 3rd and goal from the 1. Ryan rolling right, looking end zone, throws, and the pass is broken up. It was intended for Gonzalez. Quinn got a piece of it.
Well, you bring your motion across. You've got Roddy White, Michael Palmer, Tony Gonzalez, all to that side. You're trying to get out on the edge. Again, good coverage, and it's Glover Quinn again with the deflection.
2 consecutive terrific defensive plays. First the tackle on the 1-yard line, and then the deflection by Glover Quinn.
You might have saw some contact by Daniel Manning on Tony Gonzalez, but once Glover Quinn tipped that ball, there is no pass interference.
Matt Bryant connects from 19 yards out, so the Falcons are on the board. They now trail the Texans 10-3. Texans lead the Falcons 10-3. Fox tomorrow is country music's biggest event of the year with performances by country's biggest stars. Trace Atkins and Christian Chenoweth host the American Country Awards live tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on Fox. Matt Bosher kicks off. Sherrick McManus. McManus stopped shy of the 20-yard line. Well, for those viewers who may have been unfamiliar with TJ Yates, he has been impressive in this first half.
He really has, and when you come into a game and it's your first NFL start, you've got the #1 defense in the NFL, you've got a great running game, and you want to rely on those, and that's a good thing. But TJ Yates has stepped out and made some plays on his own, and really one of the things that we learned, and it was something that stuck with TJ too, when Coach Kubiak pulled him aside during the week, he noticed him being hesitant with his decisions and said, you know, hey, don't play that way. You know, turn that ball loose. He did on the last drive, a big 50-yard completion to Andre Johnson.
On the 18-yard line, the handoff to Ben Tate on first down. Tate gains 3 out to the 21.
I'll tell you what, Dal, you talk about TJ Yates. He is pulling the trigger. He's down here. He's confident. You know, when I first saw him throw that first ball, it was a little bit wobbly there on the first drive, but since then he's been precise. He's been using his athleticism to get outside, to make plays a little bit longer so he can get to his receivers downfield. I'll tell you what, got a lot of confidence right now. All those butterflies that he might have had early being a young guy are completely gone. I can guarantee you that.
2nd down and 7. It's Tate again, this time running left. Tate out to the 24-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 4. And Gary Kubiak told us on Friday, TJ has to play big time to get us where we want to go.
Yeah, this is a unique season for the Houston Texans. They're at 8-3. It's the best start in the history of the franchise. You know, one more win and they tie the franchise record for wins in a season. You know, they're thinking about the playoffs. They've never been there as a franchise. They know that this is a unique season, and that's why, you know, he said, listen, he's got to catch up to us. We can't slow this offense down and wait for him to get up to speed.
3rd down and 4. First down. Yates to Owen Daniels. Out to the 34-yard line. Daniels' 3rd catch today. Gain of 10.
You just look at his eyes and his demeanor after the plays, Tony. I mean, it's just, you know, been there, done that. No big deal.
What really shocks me is how fast he's getting the ball out. If you look right there, I mean, he goes, makes his decision, fires the ball. There's no hesitation. I mean, we've seen this on that screen play out to the left-hand side. With a pass rusher right in his face, he's making some good decisions and making them quick.
Foster in the backfield. Walter in motion from the 34. Off the play fake to Foster. Yates hits Arian Foster out of the backfield. And he is able to gain 8 yards, so Yates makes something out of nothing.
How about that move by TJ Yates right there, Darryl?
Yeah, you usually don't see something like this from a guy in his first NFL start. Just that little shoulder turn step back in to get away from John Abraham. And how frustrating is that for a big-time pass rusher? You've got a a guy making his first NFL start and he gives you the okey doke on your sack.
What's nice about that is you see his eyes the whole time, they were downfield. He felt the pressure, wasn't looking at it, wasn't worried about it, was worried about where his receivers were and got the ball down there.
Yates has completed his last 6 attempts, steps away from Bierman, and Day is forced to throw it away. There were 3 other Falcons coming as we now head to Los Angeles, a game break with Kurt.
And the Vikings turn to their tight end to take the lead. Christian Ponder, watch this catch by Kyle Rudolph. Goes up and gets it, 19-yard score. Caps off a 96-yard drive against the Broncos. Minnesota with the lead, 12-7 at home. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. So another one of those rookie quarterbacks, Christian Ponder. Broncos, a game behind Denver. Now Yates is split out to the left. The direct snap to Arian Foster. And Foster stretching out to the 45-yard line. It will depend on the spot. And Foster does pick up a Texans first down. As we approach the 2-minute warning here in Houston, Foster picking up the first down on the direct snap. Yates will head over to the sideline. He's looked good during the first half of his first NFL start. Texans lead by 7. 2 minutes remaining, second quarter here in Houston. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Yates on first down pass was intended for Arian Foster.
He's really got a nice feel in the pocket for a young quarterback, knowing when things are breaking down. I've been impressed not only with his throws, but his feel in the pocket and his decisions. I mean, it's very impressive. This is going up against Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, who's had a great start, young guy in the NFL, great couple of years for the Falcons. TJ Yates is outplaying him this afternoon.
Yates on 2nd and 10, sacked by Curtis Lofton.
Curtis Lofton did a nice job of delaying that blitz a little bit, laying back, seeing TJ Yates. There he is in the middle of the field.
Watch the first guy come, though, Goose. So he comes in, and then as soon as Curtis sees Arian Foster lock up on protection, he's coming right behind him.
That's a tough one for that offensive line because you don't see that linebacker coming right away. You think he's going to drop back in protection. Next thing you know, he's flying by you.
Falcons use their first timeout. A preview of the Visa halftime report with Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll have scores and highlights from a busy Week 13 in the National Football League, including an update on the knee injury suffered by the Bears' Matt Forte today against the Chiefs, and the big matchup between the Bengals and the Steelers. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime.
All right, we look forward to it, Kurt. So the Bears already playing without their quarterback, Jay Cutler. Now lose Matt Forte.
And they cannot afford to do that. I mean, you can kind of keep it together with Matt Forte as your key figure in that offense, but to lose Cutler and Forte.
Foster, nice stutter step. Forced out of bounds at the Falcons 49. Foster gains 14, but he is 3 yards shy of the marker.
He's just a perfect runner in this system. Little step, pivot, get on that line. There's your one cut and go, then back to the outside. Arian Foster is the perfect style of running back to work in his own blocking scheme.
That offensive line, boy, they get on and they're like magnets on those defensive linemen, creating walls and lanes for Arian to go and run through.
Hartman punting for the 3rd time. Weems back deep for Atlanta. Booming kick. Weems lets it go. And it takes a Falcons bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So the Falcons with 1:34 remaining will start from their own 20-yard line, trailing by 7.
Well, we saw some big play opportunities early in that first series. Moose, I'm wondering if they're going to go to that right now with only 1:34 left.
Well, this isn't that first series, Tony. This is the first play of the game. And Matt Ryan misses Roddy White on a double move. And then here's your 3rd play of the game. He's got Julio Jones going down the middle of the field. So, you work all week with your game plan. You call him on Sunday, and you just miss the execution of your big shot down the field.
Falcons have 2 timeouts remaining. Play clock winding down. Ryan hit as he throws, and there is a flag. Antonio Smith with the hit on Ryan.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 94, defense, blow to the head. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Antonio Smith, 94, working on the right side of your screen.
I mean, I don't know. You know, yes, it's a penalty. You can't hit a quarterback in the helmet. But that's all that Antonio could have done. He was high right there, coming off a blocker, and you got to go and take your shot.
It's not a helmet-to-helmet hit, Tony. It's a blow to the head.
Yep.
From the 35, Ryan to the outside. Julio Jones, the intended receiver. Minute 23 remaining. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
I think a lot of times you watch the game and you're like, well, he didn't hit him helmet-to-helmet, but it's a shoulder, it's a forearm, elbow, and that time it was more like Antonio Smith with a big hand, a big mitt to the head of Matt Ryan.
Ryan on 2nd and 10. Pass bounces off the chest of Jones.
That's got to be caught.
Yeah, I mean, it's that inconsistency. Julio Jones pops up right away, that's on me. And they just, when they've been open, they've missed. When they've had a chance for a catch, it's gone onto the ground. So, again, this offense a little bit inconsistent here in the first half for the Falcons.
Third down and 10. Empty backfield. Falcons must get to the 45 for a first down. And they cannot, as that pass glances off Ronnie White.
You can't blame this on Matt Ryan. He does a great job of dropping back in the pocket right here, seeing Roddy White right in the middle of the field. I mean, that pass couldn't have been any better. Roddy White has got to catch this ball right there.
I wonder how much Quentin Demps, number 27, coming across, impacted that.
Bosher waiting back at his own 20. Texans will get the ball back with 1 timeout. Here's Jacoby Jones. Oh, terrific tackle made downfield on special teams by Anton Smith. 52-yard punt by Bosher.
He's been the one bright spot today. Anton Smith has been excellent on special teams at the gunner position. Gets by Bryce McCain. Zeroes right in, right down at the legs. That's the 2nd play he's made as a cover guy on the punt team.
With the Falcons throwing the ball 3 times, they left some time on the clock for this Texas offense.
I think you come out and do something safe right here, Goose. Throw a screen, maybe if you get a big play off it, but I think they'll be more than content to try and run this clock out. We'll see what happens with the Falcons with 2 timeouts.
Talk to Neil Rackers, he thinks he's good from outside of 60.
Foster. Not much. And a timeout is taken by the Falcons. Their 2nd. America's game of the week coming up. Many of you will see the 11-0 Green Bay Packers. They take on the New York Giants, Cowboys and the Cardinals, Rams and the 49ers. America's game of the week following the Texans and the Falcons on Fox.
Interested to see what the 49ers do today. They haven't played since their loss on Thanksgiving. It's been a long time since San Francisco lost a game. See how Jim Harbaugh has those guys ready.
The 7-game win streak came to an end in Baltimore on Thanksgiving. Texans haven't lost a game in a while. They have won 5 in a row. Houston's last loss came in Baltimore as well, back on October the 16th. Second down at 10, Arian Foster. Down to the 17-yard line, gain of 4. And the Falcons will use their final timeout.
TJ Yates getting his first NFL start. You know you're going to have a little bit of nerves. And there was a play there at the beginning of the game that we thought was a forward pass, but they called it a fumble. But he bounced back from that. Big pass down the field to Andre Johnson. There's his first touchdown pass as a professional to Joel Dreesen. But not just the throws that he's made, but I've been impressed with his presence in the pocket, the feel for the rush around him, the little subtle moves, the little slides and shoulder turns, knowing when to throw the ball away when he's outside the pocket. He's doing a nice job playing the quarterback position today.
Brian Cushing returning to the Texans sideline from the locker room. Third down and 6. And Arian Foster has a first down. Out to the 30-yard line. Gain of 13 for Foster.
See if the Texans now going to call the timeout now that they got the big run. Again, watch Arian Foster. The turn, the set the line. There's the one cut. There's the hole. There again, right there. Boy, he's an impressive runner.
That's a cut, man.
Yeah. He's got Thomas Deku coming up. He gets back on that line and watch this hard plant back inside. Gets them moving. Does a great job of getting the defender to get his momentum moving in one direction, and then just a hard cut back against that grain.
He drops his hips so where he's still moving forward on those cuts.
Led the entire league in rushing last year, over 1,600 yards in his second season. Not drafted, coming out of Tennessee. So now with 44 seconds remaining, both teams out of timeouts. From the 30-yard line, Yates over the middle, and it is broken up by Weatherspoon, intended for Walter.
Sean Weatherspoon has had a nice first half for the Atlanta Falcons, has done a good job setting the edge in the run game, and he's very athletic from that linebacker position there. Gets a hand on that, deflects that away.
We've talked so much about the Texans defense today. This Atlanta defense ranked 9th, number 2 against the run. Second and 10, Arian Foster. And coming up to make the tackle is the former Texan Dante Robinson. He's still the Texans' career leader in interceptions.
If you're going to be able to stop this type of running game, you got to have good play from your corners, and that's a nice job by Dante Robinson right there. Some ex-teammates saying hello before they run in for halftime. But you got to have support on the edges to stop this zone blocking scheme of the Texans. Right through the legs.
Give me 100.
So the Houston Texans, 5 consecutive wins, record of 8-3, and TJ Yates' first NFL start. He threw his first touchdown pass, 2 picks early for Matt Ryan. The Visa halftime report is coming up next. 10-3 Texans. Texans will get the ball first. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. From the goal line. Wants to cut it to the outside. And is tackled back at the 15-yard line by Darren Walls, the rookie out of Notre Dame, making his NFL debut. Goose?
I had a chance to talk to Mike Smith over at Atlanta's sideline, and going in, he was really upset about the drop balls and the missed opportunities early in that first quarter with Matt Ryan and the timing with his receivers. And he said that's something that we have to go and correct in the second half. And also defensively, we can't let this Houston offense go and control the clock with the run game. So there are 2 things that he wants to really stress going into halftime.
Texans held the ball for over 18 minutes. Falcons under 12 in the first half. Yates with loads of time, complete to Johnson. And Andre Johnson takes it out to the 37-yard line, a 22-yard completion.
And when you've got that strong running game that can control the clock, you get the defense on your heels. Look at the time that TJ Yates has to throw this ball. Andre Johnson coming from the outside on the little dig route, that deep in. Pretty well executed for a quarterback and a wide receiver who haven't practiced much together.
Brought him right in stride, too.
4 receptions, 97 yards for Johnson. Here's Foster. Down to the 39, gain of 2. Mike Peterson, the tackle.
And Mike Peterson has played well today. Stephen Nicholas, the starter, is out. Mike Peterson, as a backup and a special teams player, gets the start today, and he's taken advantage of an opportunity. He's played well.
Peterson now in his 13th season. He's played for the Colts, Jaguars, third season with the Falcons. Second down and 8. And Tate in the backfield replacing Foster. Off the fake to Tate. Yates is sacked. Back at the 33-yard line, John Abraham. His 5th sack of the season, the 3rd sack of Yates today.
Well, that's one way you slow down Yates right there. John Abraham out on your left-hand side right here, goes and cuts the corner. Yates never steps up in the pocket, stays deep. And John Abraham beats Eric Winston for a sack.
Let me tell you what, though, Goose, you have to know as a running back, fullback and running back, Ben Tate and James Casey know that you've got Jonathan Abraham over to that side. They both released inside Eric Winston. Release to the outside, give your tackle some help.
Empty backfield now on 3rd and 13. Quick release, and it's Abraham who gets a hand on it.
Back-to-back smart plays right there by John Abraham. He goes, he knows TJ Yates is going to throw that quick out. He feels it, he sees him, gets his hands up, tips that ball. He knows that he's getting off the field. That's why he's clapping right there, Down. You know that, right?
So the 4-time Pro Bowler, John Abraham, with sack and then the tip pass on back-to-back plays. Terrific kick by Hartman. Weems lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone for a touchback, a 66-yard punt, but a net of 46. Falcons will start from their own 20. First second half possession for the Falcons, trailing 10-3. Start from their own 20. Brian Cushing back on the field for the Texans. On first down, this is Turner. Down to the 25, where there is a flag.
Holding, number 77 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Right tackle, Tyson Clabo.
A lot of mistakes today by this Atlanta Falcons team. When you talk about a team that hasn't played their best football, that's inconsistent to this point in the season, a lot of it is within your control. Once that arm gets outside the framework of the body and you're starting to turn the defender, you're going to get flagged. But we've seen missed deep ball opportunities by Atlanta. We've seen drop passes and some critical penalties.
First down and 20 following the penalty from the 10-yard line. Ryan's pass intended for a diving Tony Gonzalez.
Man, we've seen a lot of drop passes by this Atlanta Falcons offense.
Yeah, and you know, they make it hard enough, Tony, because you know, you've got to start making plays because this is a talented defense. In my opinion, it all starts with this linebacker core. I mean, they are very athletic. We know about their edge pass rushers. They do a great job there. And remember, this is without Mario Williams. You know, so when you talk about what this group is able to do with this group of 4 linebackers that Wade Phillips has put together, it's pretty impressive. Rushing the passer, sideline to sideline pursuit in the run game.
A lot of speed back there at linebacker.
Williams injured in game 5. Second down and 20. Oh, what a hit on Roddy White, and there is a flag. Kareem Jackson with the hit after the completion to White.
He didn't give him time to get turned upfield. It's going to be a hit on a defenseless player. Let's take a look at it. Kareem Jackson's down on the bottom. He's going to come off of his man.
With the helmet hit. Incomplete pass.
Good job by Bill Levy and his crew. I thought maybe they were thinking that he didn't give Roddy White the opportunity, that he was defenseless. But you can see Kareem Jackson comes in with the shoulder, doesn't go to the head. That's a nice, clean hit. The targeting, the way that the rule changes in the NFL, the direction that they want these players to move to. Well done by Kareem Jackson.
Good job by White to hang on to the pass for a gain of 15.
Excellent job by Roddy White. We sat there and talked about missed passes all day, and then he makes one of the tougher catches.
Now third down and 5. More flags.
Ball start. Number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Will Svitek Now that is the result of the noise that is in this stadium. You can't hear the snap count. You just got to figure, hey, that ball's got to be snapped with only a couple seconds left on the clock. But Will Svitek never looked down inside to the ball, because when you can't hear that snap count, that's the key. You got to look and see when that ball is snapped. On Claybo, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're right, Goose. It was not Svitek.
They called it Claybo, but it was Svitek.
Bill Levy announced Claybo. Claybo was flagged earlier in the drive. 3rd down and 10. Pressure on Ryan. Ball is loose. Texans recover. And there is a flag. A penalty marker back at the 33-yard line. J.J. Watt on the recovery. But we'll have to check out the flag.
Well, this is one of the reasons Will Svitek can't look inside, Tony. He's going against Connor Barwin.
That's why he wants to get that fast kick. But it could be holding on this defense.
Prior to the fumble, holding, number 21 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There's a game changer right there. Wow. Did Atlanta catch a break?
Bryce McCain called for the hold.
You've got a turnover inside the 20 for your opponent. You put your offense on a short field. Bryce McCain working out of the slot.
Grab hold of Harry Douglas.
Well, he knew that blitz was coming, and he had to try and slow down the receiver and Douglas. That's what you got to do sometimes, but you can't get caught for it.
Nullifies the sack by Barwin, the forced fumble. New set of downs for the Falcons. Turner tries to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage and loses a yard. Barwin and Ryans in on the tackle. Connor Barwin, the reigning AFC Defensive Player of the Month for November. He had 4 sacks in the win last week over Jacksonville.
A guy who was on IR last year had a really bad injury in the opener, but this year, you know, everybody on the Texans talking about him, his work ethic coming off the rehab, how much progress he was making week to week all the way through the season, and had that breakthrough game last Sunday.
2 tight ends split out. Ryan on 2nd and 11. Complete to one of those tight ends, Tony Gonzalez. And Gonzalez picks up a first down, gain of 13.
Tony Gonzalez is split wide to your left. Here he comes right into the middle of the field. Nice job by Matt Ryan stepping up, eyes downfield, locating his tight end.
And with that completion, Matt Ryan goes over 3,000 yards this season, 3rd time in his career. From the 37, play action. Ryan moving to his left, chased by Ryans, throws it out of bounds.
There's another shot at one of those plays they missed early in the first quarter. Hard play action, max protection, 2 guys out deep down the field. But they still got pressure, and this is the problem. It's max protection, so you've got everybody in, but the Texans are still able to impact Matt's time in the pocket.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Turner leans forward, gains 2. Brooks Reed made the tackle. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Tim Tebow trying to lead the comeback in Minnesota. Hooking up with Demaryius Thomas for the touchdown pass. Tebow 9 touchdown passes, only 1 pick on the year. That 22-yarder made it 15-14. Vikings holding on early in the 3rd quarter.
Everybody talks about Tim Tebow and playing the quarterback position as a runner, but you take your eyes off that ball, he just hurts you in the passing game.
He's just winning.
5 and 1. 3rd down and 8 for Ryan and the Falcons. Ryan takes off and picks up a first down.
Good move by Matt Ryan right there at the end of that run to get the necessary yardage for the first down. Quentin Demps is coming up from his safety spot. Looks like he's going to make the tackle and keep Matt short. Right there, that little breakout to his left.
It's all about keeping those chains moving, Darryl. Matt's going to have to do that. He has to take it upon himself. He has the wheels to get them first downs. He's got some speed.
This is Jason Snelling running hard. Tough for the Texans to bring Snelling down, and he takes it to the Houston 41.
I think Jason Snelling gives defenses issues when he comes into the backfield because you saw right there, he's a good runner, but he's also excellent in the passing game out of the backfield. But look at this drive, this determination on this run. Square shoulders, eyes downfield, forward lean.
Protecting the ball.
They picked up 10, another Falcons first down. Now 5'6", Jacquizz Rodgers in the backfield. Ryan gets rid of it quickly. Another drop by Gonzalez this time. Coming into this game, Falcons lead the league in drop passes.
Tony Gonzalez on the clean release. Glover Quinn has played a nice game this afternoon. Good in coverage. Good on the run support. You can see why Wade Phillips wanted to move him from that nickel cornerback position, get him back into that safety spot. He does do a nice job in the middle of the field.
We had a huge tackle earlier on the 1-yard line, saving a touchdown. 10th play of the drive. Empty backfield, 2nd and 10. Play clock at 2. Falcons get the stop off in time. Ryan going deep for Roddy White.
Man, he had one-on-one coverage, or what he thought one-on-one coverage with Roddy White out to the right. Lost the ball up, and Roddy just has a hard time getting off that line of scrimmage. And the timing between Matt and Roddy just totally off.
Yeah, Jonathan Joseph got a great jam on the release. Michael Turner on the sideline. Now, he had a groin this week. We've seen Jason Snelling and Jacquizz Rodgers in.
Rodgers remains in, 3rd down and 10.
Problem with Julio Jones doesn't know what's going on out there, trying to ask Matt Ryan. They got to call a timeout because of it.
Falcons use their first timeout of the second half. Midway through the 3rd quarter, trailing the Texans by a touchdown. Welcome back. Texans leading the Falcons 10-3. 11th play of the drive coming up for Atlanta. 3rd down and 10 from the 41. Empty backfield. Ryan off his back foot. Pass is caught by Harry Douglas, but he is out of bounds. About 3 yards shy of the marker. Gain of 7.
A good blitz by the Houston Texans right there. They've got Daniel Manning coming clean. Watch 38. He's gone right to the quarterback. You've got your hot adjust on the outside, but it's 3rd and long.
Falcons leaving the offense on the field. 4th down and 3. Field goal attempt would be about 52 yards from this spot. Falcons must get to the 31 on 4th down. That pass was deflected. And the Texans will take over on downs. Connor Barwin got a piece of that pass by Matt Ryan.
Connor Barwin, 98. He's not going to get there, but he gets his hands in the air. Tips that 4th down pass attempt.
TJ Yates and the Houston Texans go back to work after the Houston defense stopped Atlanta on 4th down. First and 10 from the 34-yard line. Arian Foster. Foster found a hole. And takes it out to the 43, gain of 9.
That was a quick cut by Arian Foster because they've got it played pretty well. They've got a linebacker in the hole. Watch this quick cut back to the inside. Right here, right inside Curtis Lofton.
Yeah, if you over pursue it just a little bit on that zone blocking up front, Arian Foster will cut back and get right upfield. Now we talked about it earlier about how he keeps his shoulders square and just keeps moving vertically. Tough to stop.
On 2nd and 1, here's Foster again, has a first down and more. Finally forced out of bounds at the Falcons 39 as Foster gains 18.
And that's the problem, or the challenge, when you're going against the zone blocking scheme. You're so worried about play side, and then all of a sudden it's going to come all the way out backside. Dante Robinson is upfield watching Kevin Walter on the reverse, coming back around. That opens up the backside for Arian Foster.
Foster 70 yards on 18 carries. Ben Tate now in the backfield. First and 10 from the 39-yard line. This is Tate. Tate gains 3 down to the 36. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL Now. The Houston Texans with a record of 8-3 coming into this weekend, tied with 3 other teams. Best record in the AFC. Lost starting quarterback Matt Schaub. 2 weeks ago, Gary Kubiak said Schaub was having a Pro Bowl season. Matt Leinart injured in his first start. He will undergo surgery in Los Angeles on his collarbone this week. TJ Yates, first NFL start today with the pitch back to Ben Tate. And Tate is tackled at the 36-yard line. It is Weatherspoon. Again, no gain. 3rd down and 7 upcoming.
He has played well this afternoon against this run game of the Houston Texans. Whether to him and setting the edge on his side and forcing everything back, or in pursuit from the backside.
Under 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Texans leading by a touchdown. Houston must get to the 29 for a first down. Yates from the shotgun. Bounces that pass intended for Kevin Walter.
Kevin Walter coming across the field on a drag pattern. But now some of these corners are starting to squat on some things. As the crossing routes are coming across, Atlanta plays a lot of zone. They're kind of sitting down. They're picking up these crossing routes.
Goose, you told us earlier, Neil Rackers said he can hit from 60 today.
That's what he was saying. He said 60 yards. That's what he hit
This will be
warm-ups.
54-yard attempt. He's hit from 54 this season. His career long is 57. From the right hash, 54-yard attempt by Rackers. It is short, did not have the distance.
Well, it's a lot harder when you got 11 animals coming at you than it is in the warm-ups, I guess.
Very true. So the Falcons will take over after the missed opportunity by the Texans. The starting field position of the game for the Falcons. Their own 44-yard line. Michael Turner in the backfield. Matt Ryan just 3 for his last 12. Ryan to the outside. Roddy White, the intended receiver. Jonathan Joseph, longtime Bengal on the coverage.
We can see why people say Jonathan Joseph is one of the new big additions to this Houston Texans defense. We saw him on the opposite side of the field going against Roddy White when he got a great jam. That's some great tight coverage right there.
I like how he cut him off and got between the ball and the receiver. Opportunity to go and get a pick in that situation.
You got to remember, this Texans pass defense was the worst in the NFL last season.
So receptions in the first quarter of Ryan today. Here's Turner. And Turner is wrapped up at the 47-yard line, gain of 3. We've talked about the job Wade Phillips has done with this Texans defense. Former defensive coordinator and interim head coach of the Falcons back in Houston, his dad Bum, the former head coach of the Houston Oilers. Gary Kubiak was a ball boy for Bum Phillips with the Oilers.
He keeps it pretty simple. He says it's the players that make it. You just have to come in and find out what they do best. Put them in positions to make plays.
3rd down and 7. Ryan's pass is caught by Gonzalez. Good change of direction. Takes it all the way down to the Texans' 35-yard line. 19 yards on the catch and run by Gonzalez.
I'm so impressed with him and what he's able to do at this stage of his career. I mean, he's still a matchup issue. I mean, the separation he gets from Quentin Demps on that quick little move to the outside, then back inside for some extra yards after the catch.
Yeah, 6 catches for 85 yards. Tony Gonzalez.
Nobody else on the Falcons Goose with more than 2 receptions today. From the 36, this is Snelling. Snelling takes it down to the 31-yard line for a gain of 5. Falcons on the move. They've scored a lot of points as of late, at least 23 in each of their last 6 games. Only 3 so far today. Ryan picked off twice. Carter held to 32 yards on the ground. Gonzalez, the Falcons' leading receiver. Second down and 5. Play action. Ryan in trouble. Able to get rid of it.
That's a good play by Matt Ryan, just getting rid of this ball to prevent the sack. Watch the pocket collapse around him.
J.J. Watt right over the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, wow, that rookie has a motor, unbelievable. He just keeps coming.
First round pick out of Wisconsin, Goose, J.J. Watt. And the other rookie is number 58 out of Arizona, Brooks Reed, the linebacker. Third down and 5. Ryan off his back foot, looking for Julio Jones, and Jones makes the catch for a Falcons first down and is knocked out of bounds at the 4-yard line. 26 yards for Bryant to Jones.
He has missed some deep balls today, but this is a heck of a throw by Matt Ryan. Watch the pressure in his face here. It's a little, just a quick little fade route out by Julio Jones to the outside and down the field.
We found the problem. He has to throw off his back foot. That was a beautiful pass.
So now the Falcons with a first and goal from the Houston 4. Turner and the fullback Cox in the backfield. Ryan on first and goal looking. He throws wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Roddy White.
I don't know if that was just a lack of communication, Darryl, or there was just a complete breakdown by this defensive secondary, but Roddy White comes across wide open there in the corner of the end zone. We haven't seen that at all today.
That's just a straight crossing route, Tony. Somebody didn't pick him up. Somebody came from the other side. I don't know if it was combination man zone, and somebody followed somebody to the other side.
5th touchdown of the season for White. So the Falcons now given a short field. Texans elect to attempt the 54-yard field goal. Rackers was short. Falcons took over on their own 44, try 56 yards, and tie the game. Texans medical staff continues to work on linebacker Brian Cushing.
And again, he's going to battle that the rest of the season. You make contact, that helmet's coming down, hitting him right on the bridge of the nose.
Yeah, that nose was too perfect anyway. Now it looks a little crooked like that from the linebacker.
Here's McManus on the return. Eric Weems makes the tackle shy of the 15-yard line. Well, Fox tomorrow, it's country music's biggest event of the year. Performances by country's biggest stars. Trace Adkins and Kristen Chenoweth host the American Country Awards live tomorrow at 8/7 Central right here on Fox.
You're a big country fan, right, Darryl?
No, you know, Tony, it's probably the one thing I haven't got accustomed to down here in Texas from the Northeast.
Oh, yeah.
Still haven't gotten into that country music yet.
You know I can two-step, don't you?
No, I have no rhythm.
Yeah, I can. Really good.
We look forward to seeing it from Goose.
I'll give you a couple steps. We'll show that next week.
High to 10. TJ Yates. And the Texans start from the 15-yard line. Yates steps away from Abraham, moving to his left, and then fires out of bounds in the vicinity of Daniels.
Well, they're going to bring Kevin Walter all the way across to block John Abraham, and doesn't get a whole lot of them. Disrupts him enough that Jonathan runs right by TJ Yates, but we talked to him yesterday, and he said, you know what, I've had so many opportunities for sacks. He felt he missed 4 just by himself last week, and there's a situation right there. You got a wide receiver who's kind of chopping the end of the line, and you don't see it, and you miss out on an opportunity for a sack.
Has one today. Penalty markers on second down.
Number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Right guard Mike Brizell.
How about that chart right there? Doesn't look like they're pulling back for TJ Yates at all. If you look at it, I mean, these are all plays right there. And the other side, that's just one side. Look at the other side. I mean, the color coordination, knowing what you're going. You guys are really smart on that offensive side of the ball, Darryl. Let me tell you.
Especially cramming in 1 week, right?
Unbelievable.
They know their colors. Second and 15. And a flag. Dominique Franks made contact with Jacoby Jones.
Pass interference, number 24 defense. First down, spot of the foul.
Quick little out route right here. Dominique Franks doesn't bite on anything, comes up, just gets there a little bit early.
Franks starting today for the Pro Bowler Brent Grimes. Automatic first down for the Texans. Abraham to the sidelines. First and 10 to the 18. Off the play fake to Foster. Yates fires downfield, intended for Johnson, put a little too much on it.
And Andre Johnson looked like he went down with a hamstring. That is not good.
Oh, boy.
Missed 6 games, guys. Returned last week, and this does not look good.
The problem with a hamstring, let's take a look at it. Here he is going across the formation. Usually when you change direction. Yeah, just problem with that. If it's not 100% when you come back, maybe even over 100%, right, Darryl? Them things just keep coming back.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's just nagging. It's there all year long. And then you lose your confidence. You lose your ability or the feel that you can actually get into overstride. You can see how disappointed Andre Johnson is.
Placed by Jacoby Jones. Hand off to Arian Foster. And Foster takes it out to the 27-yard line. Gain of 9. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Boy, that looks bad there for Andre Johnson, but if you're a Bronco fan, this looks rather good. Tim Tebow keeping a play alive against Minnesota. Then finding Demaryius Thomas. Thomas fighting his way into the end zone. 41-yard score. Broncos trying to come back. Minnesota holding on by a point at the end of the third quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. We look forward to seeing Tim Tebow next week against the Chicago Bears. Third down and 1 for the Texans without Andre Johnson. Arian Foster has a first down. Finally tackled by James Sanders out at the 44-yard line. A gain of 7 for Foster as time winds down in this third quarter.
Well, then Atlanta Falcons defense, they do a great job of getting penetration. Look at those guys in the middle. But Arian Foster does an awesome job, like Darryl pointed out, many times is shuffling his feet to the outside, hopping out there, getting vertical, and finding that first down.
Yeah, he was disappointed at the end of that run, Tony. He really feels like he could have got back inside of James Sanders and had a big run.
Third quarter comes to an end. Texans led this game 10-0. Falcons have fought their way back. We head to the fourth quarter, deadlocked at 10. Texans and Falcons here in Houston. There's Andre Johnson, left the field a couple of plays ago. Texans and Falcons tied at 10 as we begin this fourth quarter. Texan fans also have an eye on the Tennessee Buffalo score. Titans leading the Bills 20-10 in the fourth quarter. Tennessee 2 games back in the AFC South. From the 34-yard line on first down, Foster, and it's Mike Peterson again. How many times have we called his name today? Peterson in on the tackle.
Well, if you're going to stop this running game of the Houston Texans, your outside linebackers have to play really, really well. And both Mike Peterson and Sean Weatherspoon have played very well this afternoon.
Well, Andre Johnson's going into the locker room, guys. He is not happy.
Ray Edwards, Goose, is the injured Falcon as Johnson heads in just to your right.
Ray Edwards is number 93, working against Eric Winston. Kind of gets bent funny as he's going down, and then you see right there his arm gets kind of trapped as the pile shifts down on him.
Edwards, 5 years in Minnesota, signed the big 5-year deal with the Falcons. And he will be replaced by Croy Bierman.
You don't want to go to sleep on Croy Bierman either. I mean, he was a situational player last year. How many times did we do an Atlanta game where Croy Bierman was making a big play?
Second down and 12. Pass is picked off by Peterson. And Peterson will take it all the way for a Falcons touchdown. And there's a flag back at midfield.
Prior to the pass, holding number 23 defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Wow, we thought the one earlier in this half when Connor Barwin forced a fumble and J.J. Watt recovered it, but there was holding on Atlanta. There's Dante Robinson, number 23. There's the hold right there. And this is what it cost the Atlanta Falcons. T.J. Yates' first mistake this afternoon. Kind of a blind throw to the backside. Mike Peterson sitting right there in coverage.
That is the second touchdown scored by the Falcons defense that has been negated by penalty today. A crazy play early in the first quarter when Sanders brought it back. Yates off the play fake. Off the hands of Jones, who is in for Andre Johnson.
And that's who would be running that route. We saw that route ran very effectively by Andre in the first half. You give the hard play fake. Here's your play action. You get your linebackers up. A little reverse fake. Now you've got your receiver who's pushed the safeties and snapped it off. Jacoby Jones just can't make the catch.
Second down and 10 from the 37. Then Tate. Hard to bring him down. Tate out to the 43. Gain 6, so a third down and 4 upcoming for the Texans in a tie game.
It's one of the luxuries of being a very good running team. And the Houston Texans are very good at running the football. You can be aggressive on your first down play calls. You can take shots down the field, knowing that you can come back and just simply running the football, get back into a manageable down and distance situation. They've gotten back to 3rd and 4. If you don't have that confidence in your run game, a lot of times you want to throw on 2nd down again. And if you don't connect there, now you're staring at a 3rd and 10.
Texans 7 of 14 today, 50% on 3rd down. Walter picks up a first. Kevin Walter into Falcons territory, gain of 11.
You can also create some matchups because you can run and throw out of the same personnel, and you can force by your alignment, by your formation, you can catch Sean Weatherspoon having to guard a wide receiver.
New set of downs for the Texans from the Atlanta 45. Arian Foster up the middle, takes it down to the 43 for a gain of 2. Texans down to their 3rd string quarterback in T.J. Yates. They have lost one of the best wide receivers in the league in Andre Johnson, who has gone to the locker room. Yates making his first NFL start. Texans jumped out to a 10-0 lead. This will be the 10th play of this drive. Pat Schaub watching. Here's Tate. Tate found a hole and picks up another Houston first down to the Atlanta 31. Tate gaining 13 yards.
Tell you what a 1-2 combination with Arian Foster and Ben Tate. Ben Tate does a great job of identifying the open hole to his left-hand side. Cuts it, see how he squares his shoulders up, gets vertical, makes a nice hop cut, back to the inside. Tell you what, both of these guys can run very well. Tate getting a little excited also with the first down just in case the officials missed it.
As Darryl mentioned earlier, in 2 games this season, Goose, they both rushed for over 100 yards. once again down to the Falcons 26. Bierman made the tackle. Tate picks up 5 more yards.
You know, Darryl, we talked about it as a defensive lineman with the zone blocking up on the line of scrimmage, how you can get lulled a little bit to sleep and you start going laterally with the offensive line. That's one thing that I'm seeing right now with this Atlanta team is they need to go and start penetrating earlier for Ben Tate and Arian Foster to go and slow those guys down and make them cut earlier to help the linebackers out.
Yeah, don't let them cut when they want to. Force it a little bit early before that backside has been shored up.
Second down at 5. Tate in the backfield. Play action. Yates moving to his right. And steps out of bounds at the 24.
Now let's watch what happens to defensive ends in this situation. This is Lawrence Sidbury, Goose, and you're running the zone blocking over and over again. Watch how he gets pulled down inside, and then you're able to get to the outside. Just such a hard chase back, and now your quarterback is out on the edge looking to throw the ball down the field.
That's from all those cutbacks by those running backs. When you're a defensive end, you're taught to close down, but you still have to have your eyes on that quarterback for those nakeds coming out the back end.
Third down at 4. Foster back in. Daniels in motion. Texans must get to the 21, and the play is blown dead.
False start. Number 65 offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's number 3 on Mike Reisel today. You're right on the fringe of the red zone. You cannot have penalties in this area of the field. It gets so hard. Yards are tough to come by down here.
Forces the Texans back 5 yards. Now third down and 9. 3 wide receivers. Daniel in motion. On third and 9, the handoff to Foster. And Foster picks up a Houston first down. They keep it on the ground on third down and 9. And Foster picks up 12.
They've been doing this all day, Tony, and it's so fun to watch. And he's got such a hard cut. He's just going to turn. He's going to go from here to here, and then he's going to jump back into this. There's straight line cuts that come off of this play down and then right up the middle of the field, and you get everybody running. Look at the backside, all chopped down. Jonathan Abraham on the ground. Lawrence Sidbury coming up from his knees.
Texans in the red zone. First and 10 from the 18. Foster down inside the 17-yard line. On this drive, 14 plays, 10 runs, 4 passes so far.
But early in the game, I think they went with the matchup that they felt comfortable with. They had confidence in TJ Yates to make some throws. They kind of started the game throwing the ball very effectively. Now you're coming back at the end of the game, and you're starting to turn this offensive line loose on this Falcons defense. You've worn them down during the course of the day. This is an impressive drive.
15th play coming up. Second down and 9. Again, it's Foster. Not much. Corey Peters made the tackle.
Go back to the beginning of this drive. TJ Yates, really his only mistake of the day. Under pressure, just turns and flicks it out to the opposite flat. Mike Peterson there in coverage. Takes it back for an interception, return for a touchdown. But Dante Robinson, before the throw on the opposite side of the field, gets the holding penalty. Automatic first down for the Houston Texans. No touchdown.
So now third down and 9. 16th play of the drive for the Texans. The pump fake. Yates now pulls it in, and he runs. He needed to get to the 8 for a first down. It will depend on the spot.
It looked like he went across that yellow line. That is unofficial, but it looks like his knee went down way beforehand. Let's take a look.
All right, this is a double move on the outside. There's a pump. He doesn't like it. Gets off. Good decisions again. Pull that ball down. Get what you can. Now he's put Houston in the position to make a good decision here. Do you want to go for it on 4th and try and get 7 points? Or do you want to line up and kick the field goal? You give yourself a chance to make a play here on 4th down and try and get a touchdown on this drive.
With a defense like the Houston Texans have, I say you go and kick it, Darryl.
His knee looked down on that replay. Gary Kubiak has the challenge flag in his hand, but it certainly looked like his knee touched down back at the 9.
You got to watch this because this is a two-part challenge when you challenge spot of the ball.
Here come the chains.
I think our replay shows that his knee was down before he broke that yellow plane. If they stretch this short, Gary Kubiak's going to want to throw this challenge. I think he should keep it in his pocket.
I'm sure his coaches upstairs had the same look we did at the replay. Remember, he already lost a challenge earlier. Has one remaining.
Knees down right there.
Yeah, that's a great call by the officials.
So in a tie game, Kubiak leaves his offense on the field instead of kicking the go-ahead field goal. 4th down and 1, and Foster picks up a first down. Gutsy decision by Gary Kubiak instead of the chip shot, going for it on 4th down. It works out for the Texans.
Right, they've earned that right for their coach to have confidence in him to make that decision. This offensive line has done a tremendous job on this drive. This one's just going to stay straight on that line. Look at Arian Foster. No really a need for him to make a cut there. Just gets on that zone line and stays shoulders downfield and a good physical run.
First and goal from the 2. 18th play of the drive. Foster racked up.
Play drive.
Going on 19.
That is impressive.
The 19 plays matches the Texans' longest drive this season. Under 6.5 remaining. 4th quarter, tied at 10. Second and goal. Foster. He's in. Touchdown.
Nice play. You get a motion. Joel Drees into the opposite side and then run back where he left. James Casey, a big physical block on Mike Peterson to create the running lane for Arian Foster.
Derek Newton was in as an extra blocker as well. Foster with a touchdown in 6 consecutive games, ties a franchise record. Rackers, the extra point. Texans lead by 7. Texans lead 17-10. Play 85-yard drive. Texans lead the league in time of possession. That drive over 10.5 minutes. 15 running plays for 70 yards during the scoring drive.
And that was strength versus strength. Your number 3 rush offense in the NFL versus your number 2 rush defense in the NFL. And the Houston Texans just took it to the Atlanta Falcons.
And how about Gary Kubiak? Instead of the chip shot field goal, goes for it on 4th down. It pays off. Arian Foster, go-ahead touchdown. He's rushed for 107 yards today. His 5th 100-yard day this season. He and Tate have combined for 148 on the ground. So the Falcons trailing by 7. Start from their own 20-yard line. Fans on their feet here in Houston. Play action. Ryan hit as he throws, and the pass was deflected. Connor Barwin with Brooks Reed applying pressure. Barwin got a piece of it.
The athleticism of these linebackers coming off the edge. Here's Connor Barwin on this side, but it's at the top of the screen. Brooks Reed, they put Henry Douglas on Brooks Reed. You got to get somebody out there to help Harry Douglas. That's not fair.
Tony Gonzalez was out there, but he was by him before he could even get a little help.
2nd and 10.
I tell you what, Matt Ryan's got to watch this right here, because every time he steps away, this crowd amps up a little bit more.
Michael Turner. Gains 3, wrapped up from behind by Antonio Smith. Time for a game break with Terry Bradshaw. Terry.
All right, Kenny, after Vikings have taken the lead in a long Tebow pass, 24-yard touchdown by Willis McGahee, all the way down, bounces to the outside, out of the eye. Now, to go and tie this football game, of course, it's Tebow under fake off-right tackle. We're tied up in Minnesota. It is Denver 29, Vikings 29. Back to Kenny, Darrell, and the Goose.
Wow.
He finds a way.
Every year, every week.
Tebow time in Minneapolis. 3rd down and 7 for Ryan and the Falcons. Ryan over the middle, caught by Harry Douglas, quieting this crowd. Douglas picks up a 1st down, gain of 15.
That's a nice job by this Atlanta offense. This crowd was really into it. Harry Douglas coming from the right side of your screen. Nice little move on Bryce McCain right there, and good patience by Matt Ryan to let him clear into that second window in the zone defense.
Under 5 minutes remaining. New set of downs for the Falcons. Jaquiz Rodgers in the backfield. Ryan moving to his right, under pressure again from Reed, throws it out of bounds.
Only bringing 4 that time. And getting the pressure, see 4 down linemen.
And that's the one guy you don't want to backpedal against. I mean, Brooks Reed, and maybe this whole front, Tony. I mean, they're so athletic and so quick that if you're not stepping forward, if you start to bail out the back end of that pocket, they're going to run you down.
I agree. You got to meet those guys on the line of scrimmage and stop their momentum.
Ryan on 2nd and 10. Steps up, grabbed from behind, and his pass is short. Intended for Roddy White.
One more time. They're only bringing 4 guys. Darren, you talked about it. Matt Ryan has got to go and step up. He does step up in that pocket, but they are just closing in. Antonio Smith goes and gets a piece of him, grabs him right there, and he doesn't have any momentum to get that ball downfield.
3rd down and 10. Empty backfield, movement prior to the snap, penalty marker down as Roddy White makes the catch and takes it to the Texans' 45-yard line.
Should be neutral zone infraction, so Matt Ryan again on a huge 3rd down.
Offside defense, penalties decline, 1st out.
Penalty is declined, says Bill Levy, 16 yards from Ryan to White.
I thought it was the right guard, Joe Hawley. Now, if you run that, he just twitches a little bit. Watch right here. Joe Hawley, the right guard. They got away with one right there, Atlanta.
With the timer, put 4:28 on the game clock, please. 4:28. Thank you.
They add 6 seconds to the game clock. 1st and 10 for the Falcons from the Texans' 45. Houston leading by 7. Rodgers in the backfield, 3 wide receivers.
You're right, Darrell. This crowd gets fired up when Matt Ryan doesn't go and call the huddle real quick.
The handoff to Jaquiz Rodgers, the 5'6" rookie out of Oregon State, 5th-round pick, and he's tackled by Cushing. No gain on the play.
You think because you've got your pass rush guys, you might be able to sneak Jaquiz Rodgers inside on a running play, but very disciplined in the rush lanes.
Michael Turner on the sidelines, empty backfield. Rodgers in the slot. 2nd down and 10. from the 45. Ryan's pass. Oh, what a catch by Gonzalez. There is a flag. A spectacular catch by Tony Gonzalez for a Falcons first down. Gain of 16.
I don't know what you do here.
Pass interference, number 29 defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Look, great concentration by Tony Gonzalez. Even though he gets pushed on the line of scrimmage, still makes the catch.
Quentin Demps, number 27, Tony, he's coming in. He thinks he's got an easy interception.
From the 29, Michael Turner. Turner gains 6. Down to the 23, Quentin Demps made the tackle. 3.5 remaining. Falcons started on their own 20-yard line. Now 2nd and 4 from the Houston 23. 10th play of the drive for Atlanta. And off to Turner. Turner down to the 20. Gains 3. Remember 3 weeks ago in the Falcons' last loss, an overtime loss to New Orleans, Matt Ryan led a 2-minute drive, tied the game, sent it to overtime. They've won their last 2 since. Under 3 minutes on the clock. 3rd down and 1. Play of the drive for the Falcons on 3rd and 1. Looking for Julio Jones, who goes up and makes the catch, but came down out of bounds.
This is a nice play by Jason Allen, just with positioning. Watch number 30 on the outside. He's going to force Julio to the sideline. He's going to take away all that room that he needs to complete that catch. A good job of using the sideline as a teammate.
So now it is 4th down and 1 because Gary Kubiak went for it on 4th down, did not kick the field goal. Texans scored a touchdown. Now the Falcons must go for it on 4th down. Play clock winds all the way down. Ryan to the outside. And the catch is made by White.
Before the ball was snapped, delay a game.
The Falcons did not get the stop off in time.
Wow, we have had just some killer penalties on the Atlanta Falcons today. As you pointed out, Kenny, 2 touchdowns that have been called back defensively. One on that crazy play in the first quarter, then the holding on Dante Robinson here in the 4th quarter, and then on that 4th down, not being able to get together, get that huddle. They get down, have a delay of game penalty on the conversion that would have given them enough for the first down.
But instead it will be 4th down and 6 following the timeout. Falcons trail by 7, 4th down and 6 for Atlanta.
Keep an eye on that guy in motion. Tony Gonzalez right there.
Matt Ryan on 4th down. Hit as he throws. Incomplete. Texans will take over on downs.
It's been here this entire drive. Matt Ryan's been able to make some plays from time to time, but the pressure gets him here. Right up the middle, into his face. Antonio Smith with great push. Here comes Brian Cushing at the end. They were trying to get a pick route underneath with Harry Douglas coming from the right side.
For the Falcons, that is their second 12-play drive this half. That has come to an end on downs. Going forward on 4th down twice. And now Foster out to the 26, and the Falcons will quickly call timeout.
That's tough. 24 plays and 0 points.
So with 2:28 remaining, Texans with the ball, leading by 7. Matt Ryan threw 2 picks early, unsuccessful on 4th down twice In the second half, T.J. Yates, first NFL start. Texans lead by 7. Falcons are out of timeouts. Arian Foster, along with Ben Tate, such a big part of that scoring drive by the Texans. The 19-play drive. Foster with the go-ahead touchdown for Gary Kubiak's Texans, who look to win their 6th in a row and raise their record to 9-3 as Yates heads over to the sideline. 2-minute warning here in Houston. Texans leading the Falcons 17-10. Julio Jones and the Falcons will get the ball back if the Atlanta defense can stop the Texans here on 3rd down and 9, and they do as Foster is tackled by Thomas Deku. Falcons out of timeouts, so the Texans will take their time in sending out the punting unit.
Well, you mentioned that game a couple of weeks ago, Kenny, with the Falcons versus the Saints, and they went the length of the field to tie that game up.
With no timeouts?
With no timeouts. I mean, a 95-yard drive. Harry Douglas, the big player on that drive, with 2 big catches right off the bat.
Falcons got the ball with 1:55 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter in that game.
One thing Atlanta's going to have to go and change offensively is they're going to have to call the play and run it from the line of scrimmage. They're not going to have a lot of time to audible things off or try to get some information on whether the blitz is coming from that Texans defense. So a little change of pace for them.
They did such a good job on that last drive just with their 4 down guys, Tony. You wonder if they even feel like they have to bring any pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Houston using their second.
That's kind of what could have been for the Atlanta Falcons today on a strange call in the 1st quarter where we thought it was an incomplete pass, got ruled a fumble. James Sanders picks it up. You can see the players and the staff on the side. That got called back. And then Mike Peterson takes advantage of T.J. Yates' only mistake, but that was canceled because of a holding on the opposite side of the field.
So 2 touchdowns scored by the Falcons defense, negated by penalties. Here's Eric Weems on the return for the Falcons. Weems across the 30 and finally tackled by Jesse Needed. So the Falcons trailing by 7 must go 70 yards in the final 58 seconds.
Well, you know, we anticipated this type of game. We got another player down on the field.
It's the
Brett
punter,
Hartman, the punter.
Hartman. The Texans rookie punter out of Central Michigan. Talked about this Texans season ravaged by injuries, and now it's hitting special teams.
There's number 2. Let's see what happens as he goes down the field. Oh boy, I'll tell you what.
Looks like he hyperextended it. Just got caught in the turf.
Oh, I agree, Tony. That did look like he did something to his knee.
So the Texans medical staff tending to Brett Hartman. Falcons will start from their own 33-yard line, must drive 67 yards in just under a minute.
Well, it's been all about missed opportunities. And in the opening drive of this game today, they had Roddy White and also Julio Jones down the field for big plays, and they felt like they needed those today against this Texans defense. They didn't feel like they were going to be able to drive the ball. They have been able to drive the ball. They've had 2 12-play drives here in the second half, but they haven't been able to convert on 4th down. So, again, that inconsistency, missed opportunities by the Atlanta Falcons, they've got this chance right now. They've done it before against the Saints, went down the field, kind of a similar situation. No timeouts, needing a touchdown to tie that game. They were able to do it that day.
So Brett Hartman will be helped off. It is all over in Buffalo. The Tennessee Titans defeat the Buffalo Bills 23-17. So Tennessee now 7-5. Texans, should they hold on, would go to 9-3. The 2 defensive touchdowns that we mentioned, negated by penalties. Arian Foster with 152 total yards. He leads the NFL in yards per scrimmage per game. And T.J. Yates in his first NFL start for a touchdown pass to Joel Greason back in the 2nd quarter. Here we go. No timeouts remaining. for Atlanta. 59 seconds on the clock. They start from their own 33, empty backfield. Ryan under pressure from Barwin, complete to Jacquizz Rodgers, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line by Jason Allen. And Allen
Another big concussion, another
who made that hit. There's Allen.
Yeah, big hit here on the sideline.
Allen with an interception earlier. Now he remains down following that hit on Rodgers.
And I tell you, the spot that's vulnerable is the side and the back of the helmet. And Jason Allen came up with one of the reasons you tell people not to turn your head at the point of contact.
Former first-round pick of the Miami Dolphins. 53 seconds remaining. 2nd and 5 coming up for Atlanta from their own 38. America's Game of the Week coming up next. Many of you will see the Packers and the Giants, or the Cowboys and the Cardinals, Rams and 49ers. Following this one, America's Game of the Week on Fox.
Bringing back an old NFC East rivalry with the Cowboys and Cardinals. Oh, those were always tough games. They never went the way they were supposed to. Always tight. 17-14, 13-10.
Yeah, you guys always had trouble, especially in Arizona, right?
Yeah. Even with, we had a ton of fans out in Arizona too, but always a difficult matchup against the Cardinals.
Cowboys have won 4 in a row. There's the punter, Hartman, receiving encouragement from John Weeks, the long snapper. Remember, the Texans lost Andre Johnson earlier in this half. From the 38, 2nd down and 5. Ryan steps up and throws, and the catch is made by Harry Douglas. You mentioned his big plays during that last-minute drive against New Orleans. Douglas gained 17.
Well, Julio Jones is very, very late getting back to the line of scrimmage. He was deep downfield, but he didn't recognize he needed to get back that quick.
Cost the Falcons a couple of seconds. And following the spike by Ryan, it will be 2nd and 10 with 35 seconds on the clock.
There's Julio way down there. Look at the top right of your screen, way down the field, not paying attention.
Second and 10 from the Texans, 45. Ryan looking for Jones, and Jones makes the catch. What a catch. Clock continues to run. As one of the officials stumbles, ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. And Ryan spikes it again. 16 seconds remaining.
Watch Julio Jones catch this. I thought he kind of slid out of bounds on the catch. He was not touched.
I don't know if anybody touched him.
Yeah. Mike Smith telling him to get up and get ready to clock it.
16 seconds remaining from the Texans' 25. Ryan moving to his left. And then he throws to the sideline, a penalty marker, as Jones comes down with it at the 7-yard line. There is a flag.
Well, the official has his hat off, so that means we could have had Julio Jones out of bounds and then the first one to touch it coming back in.
We have illegal touching, number 11. Went out of bounds, came back in, was the first to touch. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Well, for those of you in the home markets of the late games, in a moment you will be leaving this game and we will be switching you to the start of your game.
Here's the second opportunity for Julio Jones, working the sideline. You can see him go out of bounds right there. Now, he cannot be the first one to touch the ball once he steps back in.
The second mental error of this drive.
Yeah, and then earlier, he got pressed to the sideline too. He's got to realize he has to give himself space on that sideline. You want to keep 5 to 6 yards over there, so you give your quarterback room to get that ball to the outside. He's allowing the defender to really force him into the boundary and really eating up all that usable space.
seconds remaining from the Texans' 30. Ryan fires towards the end zone. It's incomplete. 1 second on the clock. Roddy White, the intended receiver. So now Matt Ryan calling everybody back for one final play.
They have such athleticism across the board. It's going to be interesting to see if they go with your traditional Hail Mary formation where you put a bunch of guys together, or if you spread them out across the formation and let Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez,
a defensive penalty. Ryan to the end zone. Jones cannot make the catch. Triple coverage. And the Houston Texans win their franchise record, 6th consecutive game. They tie a team record, their 9th win of the season. Now to Los Angeles following the 17-10 Texans win over the Falcons.